Here's the thing, guys. I have always been an M. Night Shyamalan fan. The first movie that I saw written by M. Night was Signs. I don't know if you guys have seen that with Mel Gibson, and it's the aliens in the small town. There were many spoof and goof movies made after that one, but you can ask my mom. The Signs movie scared the bejeebies out of me. The part where the alien walks through the bushes was super scary, man. It was just one of those moments that really stick out to me. And of course, to learn later down the line when I'm getting into movies that was a Shyamalan movie, you know, it really excites me to see more coming from him. Needless to say, I was looking forward to the release of this movie. The trailer for this one was actually really cool. They would show you bits and pieces throughout the months. The way the trailers were woven together was absolutely a great way to solidify my interest in the movie. For those who haven't seen an M. Night Shyamalan movie, you're really just up to whatever he throws on the screen. There really isn't a rhyme or reason to the things that he does in his movies, but that is the gem of M. Night Shyamalan movies. You really don't know what's going on, and as long as you go into one of these movies open-minded, not really looking for answers right in the beginning, I think that you really like this movie, because I surely did. Now, with all that being said, let's jump into the premise of this movie. So we find ourselves with a very odd Caucasian family, okay? Everyone had different accents. I was a little confused of what the race of these people were, but we find our fair-skinned family checking into some sort of resort. It seems like they're going through some sort of hardships, and these were only because of things that I picked up on early in the movie based on the way the husband and wife were looking at each other during the car trip to the resort. That's just how I watch movies. I pick up on really tiny things in the beginning of the movie that might foreshadow what is to come later. As they're chilling in this magnificent resort, they are told about this very special beach that is very hush-hush, and no one really knows about it. The man who was telling them this seemed to be some sort of manager for the resort, okay? So he seemed to have a little bit of seniority in this place, so it would be easy to trust him, in which they do, along with, I think, 3 other families, okay? So the families are bused to this reserve where there is a gate, they're let in, and upon arrival, they are told to grab their gear, head down this valley until you hit the beach. It's awesome. You're gonna go through a cavern, and they're like, well, yo, can you help us? You know, we really need some help with some of this gear. Actually, ironically, I don't know why I didn't start with this, the guy who took them to the beach is actually M. Night Shyamalan. Anyway, when he gets asked to help them, he tells them that he has prior arrangements with the hotel, and he is pressed for time, so he's gotta go. He wishes them well, gives them an abundant amount of food, and sends them on their way. Now, it's during this part in the movie where things start to get a little strange. The beach was beautiful, the location was amazing, but what they began to realize is something unimaginable. Like I told you, the beach is being occupied by about 3 different families and somebody who was there already. It is at this point that I'm going to give you guys a full spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the movie, at least seen the trailer, I would advise you don't watch any further, okay? If you've seen the trailer, I think you're safe, all right? But if you don't know anything about this movie, I would suggest you watch it and then you come back and you check out this review. So we find that members of different families are suffering from some sort of illness. Slowly but surely, people start dying off on this beach. It first begins with a body that washes up on shore, and then it leads to an older woman who suffers from some sort of heart attack or heart failure. And we just continue to see strange things happening on this island. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie called The Ruins, but I absolutely thought of it when I watched this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, The Ruins, I believe that it's streaming on Netflix. The plot of that movie basically revolves around a group of people who are stuck on these ruins that have infected them, and they are not allowed to leave. I could draw a lot of similarities between the 2 movies, being that it's 2 groups of people stuck in a place and they don't necessarily know what's going on or why it's happening to them. Pretty much the problem stems from what the name is derived from. Everyone is getting old. One of the major ways they paint this growth in the movie is showing you the kids. When they arrived, I believe they're like 4, 6, and 9 years old. Once they start realizing that the kids are aging and so is everyone else, they have this moment in the movie where we needed a little bit of clarification. As the characters are trying to figure out what's going on and they're actually taking in these facts, it's kind of a moment for us to actually all be on the same page. Even though I gave you a spoiler warning, what I'm telling you are things that you could see in the trailer. Literally, there were so many things going on this beach. I think one of the most jaw-dropping moments in the movie was where the two kids are left unattended in a tent and end up pregnant. This movie was really weird because even though they're teenagers or young adults, they have the mind frame of young children. This movie did a really good job of bringing light to mortality and enjoying the people around you, and I could really appreciate that. Of course, it was a fast-paced, no time for a break type of movie, but I absolutely walked away thinking about the movie. I fell asleep thinking about the movie. I woke up like, dang, I need to have another day to actually process what I watched so that I can kill this review. While I really enjoyed the ending to this movie, I was really hoping for it to end off in an open-ended conclusion where we have to make up what we think is going on. But that is not what happens, and that is also not a problem. I like to watch a movie where we know exactly where it's left off. I don't think that there's gonna be a second movie. That's not really M. Night Shyamalan's bag, but you never know. At the end of the day, I'm gonna give Old a 7 out of 10. I had a really good time watching the movie. Even though my anxiety levels were on 10, like mid-movie, it was really good. A lot of the times I found myself thinking, what would I do in their situation? Would I give up? Would I just try to swim out until I can't no more? But we saw just that. Everybody tried to do something different in this movie to get out, and it really left me feeling satisfied. Almost like everything they did, I would have tried myself. But what did you guys think of this review? Did you hate it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Only way that I'm gonna know is if you jump into my comment section, you DM me on Instagram, you write me a fucking message on Facebook, and we have a full-on conversation about this thing, man. I really enjoyed this movie. I hope that you all did too. But you already know what it is, man. It's your boy Merc. It's been a pleasure, but I'm out.
But we know that you acting with all of this heat, melt you up like you plastic. Niggas will switch up on you in a moment. Like a stack of hundreds, I'm never folding. Heard they changed on me, I never noticed. Hit her and her friends, once that's a bonus. At the top, but I came from the lowest. Married to the money, yeah, I'm devoted.